Today we are all living longer than ever before. There are currently 3 million people aged over 80 in the UK, and it's projected to double by 2030. This should be reason to celebrate that the advances of people in the past has led us here. But the outlook for today's over 80-year-olds can be bleak. Loss of mobility, families moving away, and bereavement can result in social isolation. For people like Jean, solitude is an everyday occurrence.
My husband was in here, and then he would come down, we'd have a cup of tea together. And then, of course, he died about 3 years ago. But the whole perception of the home then changed, because I was on my own, and nobody ever thought of making me walk. And I was put in a chair, and I never moved out of that wheelchair for over a year. And I'd been walking before that.
Many older people go for days without seeing or speaking to another person. Some even die alone. On top of this, the older we get, the more money it costs to sustain us. This project aims to significantly improve the mental well-being of older people, as well as supplying the financial support needed to provide care. It was recognised that making people feel valued and useful significantly improves their sense of self-worth and happiness. This can be achieved by matching people that have something in common. Shared experiences provide grounds for learning and genuine interest. Dialogue is a social network that links young and old people together based on common ground. It instigates telephone conversations between two carefully matched people. These anonymous conversations are captured and put online, creating a library of human knowledge and experience accessible to all. The online touchpoint, where all the conversations end up, allows people to browse the audio content. Visitors to the website are invited to engage with real human narrative in its original spoken word and the constant opportunity to become a member to speak to a particular person directly. Evidence suggests that humans of all ages and from all cultures create their identity in some kind of narrative form. Whether in cave paintings or the latest uses of the internet, human beings have always told their history through parables and fables. What was common to us 40 years ago, the telling of stories between generations, is now rarefied. Dialogue aims to reignite this instinctive human activity. Dialogue is totally inclusive to its older members. 83% of people over the age of 70 don't have internet access. Dialogue communicates with them via their telephone line, using an audio interface giving very simple instructions. Dial Guide is a visual support that helps guide through the audio instructions. The two work together in tandem.
To speak to Katie, press 1. To speak to Laura, press 2.
Rather than using a new technology, this design harnesses something they're already very familiar with, their telephone. Dial Guide is a simple e-paper display. It is very lightweight, allowing it to be held easily in one hand, and requires very low power, meaning it can be powered directly off the telephone line. The friendly audio menu is a smart system adapting itself to communicate the status of the member's profile. The interface allows them to arrange conversations with people they've spoken to before, as well as for searching for someone new. The system was tested on Ailish, a partially sighted lady, and James, a gentleman who is completely blind. Both were able to use it successfully. The Dialogue telephone interface could also be used for accessing other brands, such as Tesco's online shopping and Amazon. Dialogue is a social enterprise that economically sustains itself. It generates funding in two ways. First, by short advertising content attached to the conversations that appear in the library, and secondly, via the open sourcing of the telephone interface. Additional profit is used to fund care of the elderly. We are all living longer than ever before. Dialogue improves the quality of life in later years by combating social isolation as well as reforging a link across the generations.